God, I freaking hate. Oh my God, I hate YouTube much. Oh my God, I hate YouTube. Oh God. Well, here we are. We're up, and hopefully people come and see that I'm back up and they come here because that just sucked. So apparently, unless you're running a codec third-party software that runs, yeah, unless you're running a third-party software that directly controls all your video stuff and you fall out of your stream on YouTube, you have no way to reconnect back in live to your webcam. Oh my God, that is so aggravating. There's no obvious way. And I had to go digging to find a way to end the old stream so I could start a new one. Oh my God. So good evening, everyone. Hi, we are live and happy to be here. Oh, thank you. Lady Dragon is feeling a little under the weather today, as is Big Ray. So I have Will with me today, who's on their phone, but let's just start off hot. Let's just talk about it. Hey, Tina. Big shout out to everybody here. Inquisitor Zane, Mike, Frost and Fist, Brother Mathos, Mike Hawkins, Nick, Tina. Yeah. All right. Hi, beautiful people. Everybody. Glad to see you. So, yeah, you know, Machine God right now can kiss my ever-loving butt. Will you be painting helmets? Tonight? No, I will not, but Will might be. So let's talk about projects. Let's start off with what we start off every night with. Let's start off with what's on the table. So, what do we have on the table? What are you working on there, Will?
My Emperor's Children.
So, give me a couple. Show them off. This is what we're doing here. So we are showing off. This is young Will. This is Will's very first unit, and they're doing Emperor's Children, Chaos Space Marines, who got some basic colors down. Working on some shading and working on some detailing, but as these are Will's first Marines, these are really well done. I'm very proud of Will. Working with kind of a classic color scheme, but also doing their own thing. What are we building? Well, you know, we have been working on our board for we've been working on our board, and the board for Armies on Parade is done. So this thing is completely done at this point. It is painted, it is detailed, it is sealed. This thing is ready to go. So now we are working on the terrain to go on this board. And this is where we are at. So this is the color scheme we decided on. You guys remember they might have been a little gray last time you saw them. They've now got a bit of their gold, and they've got their rust on them and their verdigris. And it's about 50% done. I got a few pieces that I'll be working on in between talking, but we got a bunch of stuff to talk on. Is Lady Dragon actually up and about or no? Okay, Lady Dragon was not up and about earlier, so I wasn't sure. So, Lady Dragon, if you wouldn't mind, would you hand me your lovely piece? Now,
so cool already.
Lady Dragon has been working on their board, and this is where she's at now. It's textured, it's primed. Yes, Inquisitor Zane, I'll tell her.
Hi.
He says hi.
Yes, I'm up to all the heresy.
So this is her Drukari display board. We got the big base build. We got the texture on, and we've got the Mod Podge Black on there. So
Heresy good, Zane. Heresy much goodness.
remember, she's a Drakari at heart.
Yanari.
IRL Drakari.
I'm sorry.
All right. So we got that going on. And because we have that going on, now that my board's closer to done, I'm working on my knights. So these are the bases I'm doing for, this is my Castellian and the two bases for my two armigers. So these are the bases. Bases are done. So we got quite a bit done this week. Now that my board is done. You know what I love? I love having a family that is involved in the hobby, but at the same time forgets that this camera is live and is picking up everything they're talking about over here.
No, I didn't forget.
Okay. So yeah, we're in really high end. Let's get ready for the Armies on Parade Day.
Except for Lady Dragon, who's slightly out of her mind right now and has decided, okay, I'm gonna do this board, try to put together some more of my Yanari while cleaning my house and planning a Halloween party.
Thank you, Mike. And yeah, she's insane. That's why I married her.
That's not why he married me, but yeah.
We can't talk about on channel why I actually married you. No, I don't want to get demonetized. All right. So yeah, I mean, this is prime time. Summer's going away, so this is gearing up time. We're getting ready for, at the end of the month, there's going to be a big kill team tournament at our local game store that we're gearing up for. I normally play Space Wolves, but I think, Inquisitor Zane, you're worth any money I could have actually earned. There's a big tournament at the end of the month that a couple of my viewers are actually running, and they're running it at the game store that we frequent here in Milwaukee. And I want to give a shout out. I think pairings are already up, so they're giving time to people to prepare or whatnot. But I am not running my Wolves. I normally run, I have a really, really good Wolves team. But I have found that since Elites came out and has really crawled into the meta, my team's about a 50-50 toss-up. It'll either really do well or it'll really do poorly. There is no, I'll hold my own for a little bit. It's just the nature of the army I designed. So I am not continuing with my Wolves for this kill team tournament. I'm actually building a different army. And since we're doing it in kind of a cool format, they're having us build a 20-man roster, a full roster, and we only have to decide on our 100-point teams. So you only decide on your 100 points when you come to the table. So it'll be cool. You just have to have your roster set ahead of time. So I'm working on that. But I know who I'm doing. I don't want to say too much, but it's Death Guard. So
Okay, now comes Lady D's big thing, where I explain exactly why he's making this change.
you don't need to explain it. I got murderized. Since
Yes, that's pretty much it. I mean, dude.
since Elites have become a thing, my Space Wolf list as it sat doesn't compete very well, honestly. So, and I want to, What all was included in Space Wolf Elites?
You should be. He did betray you.
I didn't betray you.
He betrays
I
everyone.
don't think Elites ruined Kill Team. Honestly, I think the biggest problem with Kill Team right now is that Elites changed the game significantly. And the thing is that I think, and this is my personal opinion, because I like Kill Team. I like it a lot. I think if you're allowing Elites, you need to play a 125-point game. I don't think the 100-point game is designed for Elites because most of the Elite figures are too expensive. And they kind of throw the balance off. If I play Death Guard and I put 2 Terminators on the board, I can't really afford much else. But those 2 Terminators are so god-awfully powerful. There are balance problems with Elites, and I fully admit that there are some balance problems with Elites. I really can't put my finger on all of it. I think a lot of the stuff they added for Space Marines, I could probably work into a nice list. But the biggest problem I find that Marines have on a whole is they don't do anything really well. They do everything good. They don't excel at any one thing. And the problem is in Kill Team, you really need to excel at something. Which is why I'm playing Death Guard. Because
of course you like it, because you probably murder them.
And that's the thing. What do Death Guard do really well? They survive. So
until he plays Drukhari.
I don't care what.
It's against the Drukhari, and they just go.
Yeah. Well, then Kill Team. Kill Team, that doesn't do any good. So, and again, it's very different between 40K and Kill Team. So, like I said, I love Kill Team. I love Warcry. That's Mythos. Okay. Mythos. Now, here's the thing. I want to point out. Somebody mentioned earlier about Warcry. I love Warcry. I think Warcry is probably the best product they've put out in a few years.
My secret love. After using, of course.
Yes. I think Warcry is probably one of the best things they put out in a very long time. Does it have flaws? I think every game has flaws. But I also like the fact they just did an FAQ for Warcry, and it fixed a lot of issues. So that being said, I think it's just as... Yeah, and that's the other thing I love about Warcry. It really is a kit basher's dream. I mean, when I'm done with this fortress I'm doing...
No, Zane, I don't. I love... You wait till I have my comic up. Just wait till I have the comic going.
When I'm done with the fortress I'm working on and doing the videos for, I'm going to be doing... Yes, I would say that is honestly true. Warcry is the best game since Mordheim, and Mordheim was an amazing game. I wish I had played it more. I think the only game they've ever produced better... I think the only game they produced better than Warcry, and people may or may not agree with me, but Battlefleet Gothic I still think is their best game they've ever done. Battlefleet Gothic was just such a fabulous game, just a wonderful, wonderful game. I think many other minis games, I was hoping instead of Aeronautica they were going to come back to that. So honestly, when the fortress is done, I'm going to be doing a Warcry / Kill Team board, and I'm doing a Realm of Beasts. I'm going to make it look like African Savannah.
It was actually suggested to us by one of our viewers.
Yeah.
Oh, look. It slowed down.
It's been having problems all night. I got kicked out of a stream earlier. I love Blood Bowl. I'm not going to say it's not. The problem is that Blood Bowl...
Thank you.
And the problem I have with Blood Bowl,
You can't stop us all, Inquisitor Zane. You can try, but it's not going to work.
Nope, not.
But I did like the original game. I think the biggest problem that Blood Bowl suffered from was too much. It was too much.
Heresy, Umiko. Yes, Mike, we're doing
Yes, Mike, I'm doing your board. I'm doing an African Savannah style board, and I'm doing it with a bunch of custom terrain that I'm doing for it that'll be able to be used for Kill Team as well as Warcry. Since they're both the same board, it'll be pretty cool. And mutations are awesome. Cat girls are hot. And I'm saying that as a space furry, I mean space wolf, you know.
Like I said, just wait. So this man here, going completely off subject to kind of alleviate the conversation a little bit, I love to draw. Some of you may remember the logo that I'm trying to do for him for his new thing. Well, he had this crazy idea of drawing, what are they, Death Guard? Death Watch?
No.
Just submarines. And originally he was like, you need to make one doing a duck face. And I said, no, because they never take their helmets off. So how are you supposed to do a duck face? So then I had this amusing thing of drawing a Marine in the armor, but with its head turned to the side and a hand up like this. And it's like, looks like it's doing a selfie on Snapchat, and it just says duck face on it, but you know, you can't see anything. And then he came up with this great idea.
Have like 2 or 3 others kind of poking in.
And they're all like,
and have the selfie shot, and then feeling cute, I don't know, may purge something later.
Hashtag squad goals. And then another one of Fulgrim, Angor,
Fulgrim, Angron.
Angron, thank you. I just learned about this guy.
Fulgrim, Angron, Mortarion,
and Magnus. Doing a picture of them all together, and it just says brothers for the win. And he just came up with this, and we just had this thing, and because he does Space Wolves and I do my Yanari, we had this ongoing joke between us that we've decided to start turning them into actual 4-panel comics of his wolves having to work with my Reborn. And it's like, you have been chosen because you are the bravest, the most loyal, and the least likely to shoot them on sight.
So
Look forward to it.
We're working on it. We gotta crack the whip to make her do it, but we gotta do it. I gotta crack the whip. Or should I ask you about the last comic you were supposed to be working on?
The one that's 20 years in the making at this point.
Yeah. So.
Money.
All right. So let's get on to our next topic, which is news of the day. Well, it's not even just purple. If you look real close,
it's Luck, Shock, and Barrel from Nightmare Before Christmas. And, of course, gotta give some love to the very evil corporation that we all know and love this holiday season.
Yeah, and that's a lucky thing, Mathos. She's an incredibly talented artist.
Yes.
Yeah, she is. I will make you go get your sketchbook.
I will go get your sketchbook.
No, I will make you go get your sketchbook.
No, because no. I'm going to need a heavy bolter. Are you sure you want to get the bolter, not the flamer?
How do I keep stuff? Oh, the flamer.
Yes,
heavy flamer.
Yes, I actually do have a DeviantArt. I haven't used it for a while. When we put the comments up, I'll actually, for those of you who actually want to see some of my older stuff, so you can go see it, because unfortunately, my screen name is part Gaelic. So trying to speak it does not exactly sound the way it's spelled.
Now, to answer Nick's question, how do I get so many projects done? How do we get so many projects done? We don't.
I told this man we were going to get cue cards, and I'm going to get one of those little cue card storage thingies. And for every idea we have, it's going to be written down on a cue card, and we're going to toss it in there. For every idea that you have,
she's in the note card.
Whatever. For every idea you guys give us goes into there. That way, if we ever go, What should we do?
Yeah, what should we do? Like, I'm gonna run out of ideas. Here's the problem.
Yeah, finishing. That's where.
That's the problem, because I've got 2 groups of Marines. I still got to finish painting. I'm in the middle of a 32-person army to build.
Has anybody seen mine?
Yeah, it's in the room. I picked them all up and put them in the cabinet and some in the room. We have lots. Yeah, I know how slow you are.
We love you, Nick.
You are slow, though. I mean, dude, you are super slow because
What are you doing? What
I'm
are you looking for?
I'm looking for the box of silver.
Silver?
Yeah, my knights that I've already got mostly done.
They are over there, I think. Or are they?
Oh, right here.
Oh.
See, here's the thing, Nick. When you were showing me your knights last week.
By the way, if we haven't told you enough, thank you so much for that noise, Marine. I told Adrian we need to get a couple just so I can put them on the top of a speaker and build a little stage for them like the Torn Chieftains.
I also need some of them.
I was actually thinking of doing a diorama more like Mad Max for them. So you showed me your knights about where you're at. I started.
Ladies and gentlemen, meet Thorn.
Building and painting. So, which is why we had to do these bases, because my girls need
Their boys.
their boys. So that pack, I've got the silver undercoating done on everything at this point. So
Ooh.
it's now time to start.
You get all the best accessories, eh?
And because I am that way, it is fully magnetized, so I can easily transport it. I figure if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right. Yeah, it's a disease. It's a disease. Projects are a disease.
Yeah.
I have a group of 3 knights that I got to finish. I bought special paint for them.
We have a bad backlog.
Who's this we?
And that's the whole thing. I want to do it. And that's the thing. She wants to do digital. She really does.
I do
want to get a hold. I have this wonderful piece of software that he got me, actually, that is specifically for art and whatnot. Sorry to digress on this, people. Promise I'll give the thing back to you anyway. But that's what I have. I love it. The problem is I need a tablet to draw with it.
I need a tablet.
And that's the problem. That's part of the problem, is that, there is a limit to money, and I'm not plugging it because I don't have anything set up for it yet. You can. I'm not plugging it yet because I haven't really set anything up for it. But that's why I'm looking to get an actual Patreon going for this channel to help supplement project costs, so that some of the secondary stuff we want to do, like increasing our paint things, getting some upgrades for the computer for doing this here, the inherent costs of doing a constant thing, and that's why
what I want to.
Yeah, we want to get her a Wacom. So that's the thing. We're eventually going to set up a Patreon, and we'll go over those notes at some point with everybody. By the way, I know Brother Mathos was asking about it earlier. You wanted to see my Belisarius call.
I would like to mention to everybody that this is probably one of his earlier pieces. It wasn't a first piece, but it was his first major piece he ever did. So it's really good. Unfortunately, compared to what he is now.
It was when I was getting back into the hobby seriously. Yes. So, yeah, I honestly, when I first got back in, I wasn't going to do Marines. I wasn't going to do Marines at all. I was doing my Death Guard, and I'm like, I want to do AdMech. So I got an opportunity to get a box set that had him and the Living Saint and Greyfax, and I got that box on the cheap. And I did call, and I did some stuff very traditional with him because I want when I finally do add mech, I want them to be very, very traditional. But I made him very dusty looking, and that's actually on purpose. I purposely tried to make him look like he's just kind of coated in red dust. So
it's kind of hard not to stay clean when you're on that a dust ball of a planet called Mars.
So, and that was the thing when I originally got my my knights, I was going to do them up in Martian colors as well.
Yes, he was.
And
then I came up
things
with
changed. So
Mickey the idiot,
Mickey
the captain.
Yeah, the two smaller guys are going to have on their cockpits Mickey the idiot and Captain Jack, and the big guy is going to be named Thorn. So they have names. There's a story behind them.
It's a very much messed up joke.
And
it's so much fun to do non-traditional. Yes.
Yes, Mickey the Idiot. Mickey the Idiot is one of my two the Helverins, the Armigers.
No, he's not like Jar Jar Binks. It's a
Doctor Who reference.
It's a Doctor Who joke, yeah.
It's a Doctor Who reference.
Both.
Because
the entire group is
the entire group. My entire Imperial Guard is a Doctor Who reference.
You're welcome.
Yeah, the two guys are named after the two Doctor's two companions, and
I respectfully disagree.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we don't talk about your favorite. He's the homicidal maniac.
So the two guys, the two Helverins are named after Mickey and
Captain Jack Harkness.
Yeah.
And the psyker of the group is named which is
Gallifreyan
for Rose, and the commander, which is going to be a stand-in for Creed, is Donna the Noble. So yeah.
A redhead who, if I can, will at some point have a fan-made picture of her saying, "The slappings will continue until morale improves."
Right.
We're also going to have Martha, who is going to be a physician. We'll have our Amy, River.
Eventually, when we get big enough, there will be all the named characters, except there will be no doctor.
Nope. I'm trying to get him to let me have one actual dude.
No. So, all right. So, as I said, let's talk about news a little bit. So,
he's going to be on this for the rest of the night.
I will not, but we're going to talk about it a little bit because I'm a little upset.
It took us an hour to drive home, and he was on it the entire time.
Rose is absolutely.
She's my favorite.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She is the second best companion of all the Doctor's companions.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the other one? Sarah Jane?
No.
Or Jack?
No.
Nope.
Nope.
K9.
No, K9's pretty freaking awesome.
He's great.
So here's the thing. They've released.
That was Mickey.
Yeah, that's Mickey the Idiot. That's Mickey the Idiot.
Technically wasn't a clone, it was a duplicate
Yeah.
from another dimension. But...
So they've released a sneak peek of the Eldar and a sneak peek of the Drukhari. No, it's Mickey. It's Mickey.
It's Mickey.
Here's the thing. They released the new abilities for the Drukhari and the Eldar. They haven't shown the Yunari ones yet. They showed the new abilities. The new abilities are really good. Somebody pointed out that with the new homunculus passion or whatever they call it, she doesn't play the that
Homunculus Guild.
she doesn't play Homunculus Guild. It doesn't matter, but in competitive, they're going to be devastating.
Oh yeah.
No, they're going to be even more devastating. They showed off one of their new doctrines. They got a +1 to wound.
Yeah, well, screw that.
All of them will get a +1 to wound. So they're set up properly. You're going to have the ability for the big homunculus beastie thing that will be able to wound knights on 2s. So that's pretty cool. I mean, they're still fragile. There's still a lot going on. So there's some cool stuff going on. Here's where my problem comes in. Okay, so I've only been back for about 9 months, 8 months, 9 months or so. I love the new ink. I love the new sculpts. Let's not talk about the figures because the figures are gorgeous. I love the new figures. Here's the problem. When I got into the game, I bought a starter box, and a starter box was $150. We're talking American. So if you're not in America, it's $150 American. I don't know what that translates to. I don't follow other countries. Sorry, stupid American here, honest. Being honest. But you look at the start collecting boxes. Start collecting boxes when I got in most of them were $80 to $85. They've all gone up about $5 to $10 a piece. Okay, that's fine. They're $90 a piece. Let's just go there. So here's the problem. Then they released, they had Tooth and Claw, which was again $150. They had Wake the Dead, which was $150. They had, I forget the name of it. I think it's Forgebane that came out just before I got back in. That was $150. And these are all reasonable prices. It's a big box of miniatures. Then they released Shadow Spear. And Shadow Spear was $170. Okay, that's $170. That's okay. There's a lot of figures in the Shadow Spear box. I mean, there was a lot of figures. There was, a full squad of Chaos Marines, a full squad of infiltrators, 3 commanders for the Marines, plus the infiltrator, not the infiltrators, the intercept. I mean, there was a lot. There was a lot of figures in Shadow Spear just for the Marine side. Then there was a huge amount of Chaos Marines. It's a good box. 170 was a little more than I was normally paying, but it's like, but you get a lot of figures for that money. So that's okay. I was okay with it. And then the Apocalypse boxes came out, and they were only a limited run, but holy crap, they were great. I bought 2 of them.
There it is.
I bought 2 boxes. I bought the super heavy for the Knights, and I bought the heavy support box for the Imperial Guard. Great boxes at $175 a box. They were worth the price. The least valued box, which was the Knight box, you were basically paying the same price for the box as you would for the Knight by itself, and you get the 2 Helverins for free, which is a $75 box. Now, again, I'm cheap. I don't want anyone to get this wrong. I am cheap. I am a cheap bastard. It is why I build stuff out of cheap materials to make it look good, because I don't like spending money I don't have to spend. I mean, that's just who likes spending money when they don't have a lot of money. If you have a lot of money, now here's the difference. If I were to hit the lottery, I would spend tons of money. If I hit the lottery, every single channel, no, I would. Because if I hit the lottery, I wouldn't be stupid. I wouldn't just, dropping hundreds and wiping my butt with them. But every single channel that I like on YouTube, I would be a patron of. Every single comic book creator that I really like, that I read in the morning. So I read my comics in the morning. There's like 5 comics I read. Every single one of them, I'd be a Patreon of. Because that's value. And if I have more money than I know what to do with, I want to try and spread the wealth. I want to try and make other people's lives easy. And that's just the reality. But the reality is that's not reality. The reality is that I'm a dad. I have 2 kids. I have a wife. I have a limited income. My wife is going to be having surgery soon, so she's currently not working.
If we're lucky.
And when she gets back to work, that'll make things easy again. But I mean, that's the reality of life. We're making bills, we're making things, take care of things, but I don't have the money to just throw at whatever I want right now. That's just not, even when we were both working and everything was groovy, nobody has just countless amounts of money. And if they do, well, I mean, good for them. But I mean, most in the reality of the 21st century in America, most people have enough to make things go. What do you need?
It's still like really fragile.
Okay, put it down. I'll fix it later.
Okay.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I try to get value. So when I can buy a box, like a start collecting box, or I can get something where I can get good value for money, it's what I want, because I want to do this hobby. I recognize that this hobby is a luxury. I recognize that it is an expensive hobby. It is a luxury, and that's just the reality of wargaming, especially that reality of 40K. Their models are absolutely gorgeous. The models are gorgeous, but you're paying for that. Honestly, here's the thing. The price leaked for the new Elven box. It's 25 figures. It's going to be 5 Incubi and the Incubi leader dude, and 5 Scourges, and then 6 of the Goblin Guider guides, whatever they're called, and what looks like a Venom. And on the Eldar side, there's going to be the 5 Banshees, the Jarjan or whatever the heck is the leader. They're going to have one of their tanks and one of their assault bikes. Yeah, James are. And the price for the new box leaked. Now, I was expecting $170 to $175 box. I figured it would be the same price as the Apocalypse box or the Shadow Spear box. It's going to be $230 American. That's $50 more than the boxes they produced to date. 55 more. For effectively, honestly, what is a mixed unit box? Yeah, it's 50. It's going back to a mixed unit box at $230 for roughly the same costs or the same figures as the Apocalypse boxes were 2 months ago. About the same amount of figures, about the same amount of units, and they're going to be $55 more. Now, again, that's not going to make me quit the hobby, but it is going to make me severely cut back, because if I have to save up more to buy a big box set,
We were actually having
and that's going to come up next, because you're hitting it on the nose. You're hitting it on the nose right there. Here's the thing.
That is true. Even if I do love playing my Yanari, that is a bit expensive. Zane, you are actually very close to what the next part of his rant is.
Here's the thing. I can right now, right this moment, that box of figures is $230. For that exact same $230, I can go out onto Amazon and buy an Anycubic Photon 3 resin printer for that exact same price. The Anycubic Photon 3 resin printer is gorgeous.
We have actually spoken about getting it regardless for other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. If I have to cut back, I mean, I can cut back. It's fine. I got more to paint. And when I'm done painting it, I'm just going to be making more terrain. It's what it's going to do. It's not going to make me play the game less because I've got an army. What it's going to do, it's going to make me buy less. They increase their prices. I'm going to buy less. But for $230, I can go out and I can buy an Anycubic Photon 3 resin printer. And if you know anything about resin printing, resin prints are incredible. Luke Towan runs a railroading modeling channel.
That's okay. We still love you. You can join us, all of us heretics in the peanut gallery.
It's one of the most beautiful. He does some of the most beautiful stuff ever. And he does stuff in his Anycubic, and it's gorgeous, and it's not complicated. And he models his own stuff. I don't need to. Because right now, I can go out in the Thingiverse, and I can find models for virtually every GW model out there. And this is where the problem begins. As they increase the price on their models and the price of 3D printing goes down, they are cutting their own throat. Because once you buy a 3D printer, you suddenly stop needing to buy certain things from GW. Because a resin printer can print things so accurately at high levels, you're going to be able to do things that aren't going to be worth the cost. I'm not advocating piracy. I'm absolutely not advocating it. But this is what killed a couple other media industries that kept jacking their prices up and jacking their prices up and jacking their prices up, and people went to a cheaper medium for the same thing. Killed beta. CDs became so cheap they killed DVD. They killed VHSs. The same thing's going to happen here. They got to come up with a way to either bring their prices down or start selling prints, because 3D printing is here. And a perfect example, about 3 months back, some guy showed up for a GT. It was an invitational GT, so it was for fun because they were gearing up for a big tournament, and so they were letting people just use a lot of proxies. Yeah, they were letting people use proxies to do stuff so that they could test out new lists. And a guy showed up at the tournament and won the tournament, and his army was a Custodes army, and he had 2 or 3 of the Sicarian grab tanks. And he had them printed out in bright neon green, obviously 3D printed. He didn't finish them. He didn't do anything to hide the fact. He put them on cardboard bases, the right size. He glued them down, and he put them on the table and said, oh, these are just proxies. Yes, he obviously would not be able to use them at an ITC official tournament. And competitive play will always be the home of you have to buy the actual figures. But 3D printing and third-party bit sellers are making it possible. Can you hand me that rack of the figures over there? The one of Ray's dudes that was on the table?
Which rack of dudes?
There's a bunch of guys on a paint stick. This is a group of Imperial Guards, or proxies for Imperial Guards. These are absolutely beautiful figures. They're a newer cast than the current Games Workshop Imperial Guard models. They have more detail, more personality, and they look better. He got 40 of them. He got 40 of these guys out of resin from a third-party producer of bits that sells them. These are technically legs, a torso with a gun, and a helmet. They're 3-piece resin casts. He got 4 boxes of 10 guards for the price that GW charges for 2 packs of their plastic guards. They're better quality figures. They're newer cast, more detail. They look better. And unless you're like up on them going, oh, those aren't official looking figures, 90% of the time, nobody's going to look at them. And if you're not playing in an ITC, nobody's going to care. There are entire companies out there that are producing kits to upgrade figures. There are companies out there that are producing bits like Cromlech, like Spellcrow, that are producing pieces and bits that are as good, if not better, than the stuff that GW is producing at a quarter to a half the price.
Imagine my surprise when I found out that one of these places makes female Tau figures.
There's an entire range of space elves and Drukhari that call them dark elves. And
I don't know what they're talking about because those are not fucking Drukhari. Just freaking Drukhari.
And they're absolutely gorgeous.
Oh,
So here's the thing. This is what's going on. Now, here's the other side of that. And this is the other part that's a problem. If 3D printing is this cheap, if I can buy for 1 box a printer, yeah, I don't know either. The Imperial Guard upgrade kits, they have a Gene Stealer Cults upgrade kit that you can apply to an Imperial Guard unit, I guess. Go figure. And this bothers me. This actually really bothers me because I love this hobby. I love this game. I'm not going to stop playing. I have 2 fully functional, soon 3 fully functional armies. I'm happy. I'm super happy about it. But hey, freak, what's going on? So it's the thing. If I, for the price of an Eldar box set, can buy a printer, and then for $40 have enough resin to print everything in that box 4 times, why am I going to buy that box? Especially if I can print them out of resin that is virtually indistinguishable from the actual models, because that's the quality that resin printers are getting to these days. Why am I going to pay that? Now let's take it one step further, because this is the other part that came to mind when I was thinking about it. This new box that is going on pre-order this Saturday, that's the new box for the Eldar Drukhari, the mix box. We're about a month away from the new Sisters of Battle box coming out. And the Sisters of Battle box is 30 some odd figures in it, 25, 27 some odd figures, about the same model count. I was figuring that box was going to be $175. Then a little bit more because it's going to supposedly have a limited edition codex in the box. Yeah, I mean, that was, don't even get me that argument there. They're going from metal to resin to plastic because that's going to make them cheaper, and their prices have done nothing but go up. I remember when I bought my 2nd edition box set that had 30 Marines, 30 Orcs, 20 Gretchen, the book, and everything else. I spent $50 on that box, or 60. I mean, it might have been 60, 65, but it wasn't over $100. I bought it and the codex, and it was under $100.
Emiko, I would recommend dropping that link actually in the comment section for me to see later, because afterwards, the live chat, I'm not going to be able to see it.
Yeah, so go ahead and drop it in the chat. Please, afterwards, save that here. We'd love to see it. So here's the thing. The Sisters of Battle box that's coming out. They've been hyping that thing for a year, which I'm glad. I really wanted to see Plastic Sisters, and I will still to this day. I'm still kind of going, wow, because I bought a Sister Amelia. I bought her when it came out when they released that one figure.
We have two of them, and they're loud and obnoxious.
And I bought one of those Sister Amelia figures, and I'm like, this is really cool. Hang on, this isn't a Commander. This isn't a. This isn't a named figure. This isn't a named character. This is just a squad sergeant, and she's $35. I don't actually want them in here. They're too disruptive and loud. No, he only.
Hello, my darling freak.
So we're talking $5 for the box. That's why I didn't want to. Go on. Get.
Out. There,
Big dope.
Okay.
So if they do $230 for that box, and then they want to add on the cost of that limited edition book, you're honestly looking at a $300 box. Yeah, the Sisters box, just $250 easy. I was figuring it was going to be $175. Then they said they're including the codex. I'm like, okay, so that might be I was thinking, oh, that's going to be a $200 box. That was my thought. This Eldar box is $230. That Sisters box is going to be more expensive. And if that's what they're going to do from this point forward, Christmas is coming. The battle boxes are coming out. The battle boxes were, what, $185? But they got a lot of units in them. I'm worried that they're going to go up this year, that the battle boxes are going to be $250 boxes or $300 boxes. And they're going to start cranking their prices again. We've been seeing them whittle the prices up a little bit, $5 here, $10 here over the past year. They've done 2 price upgrades over the last 2 years, from what I'm hearing. I wasn't here last year when they did it, but I remember when in the middle of summer, everything went up like $5. That's for the old models. Now, here's the thing. You look at the new models. And this is where, again, yeah, and this is where the problems first begin, because now you got to start looking at the big picture. For those of you that play Marines, when I started back in February, Rhinos were $40. And right after I got in, Rhinos went to $42.50. Now I think they're $47.50. But it's still a Rhino. Okay. But then you got to look at what's the Rhino able to carry. It can't carry any of the Primaris Marines. So let's get the Primaris transport. It's $80 for a transport. You're telling me that the Primaris transport vehicle at that point was more expensive than any non-Forge World vehicle at that point. The Frost, the Frost Wolf, the big flyer. Yeah, I wish I had them assault meme. You and I got to talk too, Freak, because I had a video problem earlier.
Y'all need to finish figuring out the rules of your craft op also.
Yeah. So here's the thing. You got the Primaris vehicle, the transport was $80. And that's more expensive than any other vehicle in the line. Every flyer, every transport, every tank, except for the Baneblade. The Baneblade, a Titanic vehicle. A Titanic. That was no, the transport could carry 10. But that was $80. Other than the Baneblade, everything else was more expensive. It was expensive, more expensive than everything else. I'm like, all right, well, I don't need a transport for these guys. And then they came out with the tank, and I admit I have a tank. I wanted that tank so badly. It's a very powerful vehicle. I love the damn thing. I got lucky. I was getting rid of my magic card collection at the time. So it was money I had already previously spent. So it was me just selling my magic cards, getting store credit. He is a
Red-nosed pit.
He's a red-nosed pit. Yeah, he's gorgeous. He is a red-nosed babyface pit. I don't know what the actual breed is, but he is gorgeous. He's lovable. He's a lovable, stoopy freak. He's a good boy, though. Yes, you are. Now get out.
Oh.
Get out. Cannot be by the grown-ups right now. I do too. I've had 3 in my life, and they're all good dogs. They get a bad rep. And
they found one of the cats.
And they're gonna go love on the cats. So I guess I don't want to go on this any further, but I mean it's just ridiculous. Then the tank came up. His name is Apollo, and his little sister, who is a Pomeranian Chihuahua breed mix, is
the devil.
Artemis. So it's Apollo and Artemis.
An evil little thing.
All right. So the tank came up
to his rant.
The tank was $100. Now it was money already spent for me, so it didn't really bother me that much because it was cards that I wasn't using anymore. So the reality is, it didn't really actually cost me anything. But it was $100. The Baneblade's $140. This thing is $100. Is there any reason why that vehicle's $100 other than that they want to charge more for figures? How much is a squad of Tactical Marines? 40, 45 bucks. But now you want to get a squad of Intercessors. That's 60. It's your basic Marine. It's the basic Primaris Marine. It's $60, $65. All the named characters, they were earlier this year, they were 25 bucks each. Didn't matter who the character was, they're all 25 bucks. Then they had the price upgrade. Now everybody's 35, except for the newest guys who came out at 40. So now single figures, single named figures are $40 freaking dollars for one guy. One guy, $40. Why am I going to spend $200 on figures when I can spend $250 on a printer and print all I want? Tell me this. Why? I'm not competing in an ITC. Actually, Nick, you bring that up. Actually, somebody on Reddit, somebody in Reddit on one of the Reddit 40K boards a couple of months back.
Yes, Meatless, yes, freak.
Did
Salt is real.
Did a chart where they did a comparison of, and they did again using American dollars. They looked at American. They did American the cost of living and the inflation chart for the last 25 years. And then they compared it to the price increases at GW. And here's the thing. They stayed pretty consistent with the strip. I mean, with the price. Yeah, you guys are having conversations around me. They stayed pretty consistent up until around 2001. And then 2001, they rocketed up in price. And a lot of people talked about that there was a huge noticeable price increase on the first box sets that came out in like 2002 or 2003. That they went from $50 to $60 to $70, whatever they were before that, to now being $99. And it's taken off since then. I am not an advocate of piracy, and I tell you this because I'm an author. I've written 3 books. I understand what it's like for somebody that's not making a lot of money from the art that they create, having somebody copy it and then give you nothing for it. I mean, that sucks. That's ripping them off. That's terrible. That's destroying artists. But when you create an artificial demand for figures by making them limited runs, putting them in limited price break boxes, and then you sell them later at exorbitant prices, or you sell these boxes with the new figures in them. The only reason you're buying this Eldar Drakari box, the only reason so many people want to buy it is because it's got 12 new figures in it. There's 25 plus figures in the box, and they want 12. And they're not even split up. Half for Drakari and half for Eldar. And they're charging you premium for the whole freaking thing. Ever since Age of Sigmar came out, GW has made record profits every single year. And I am never going to fault a company for making money as long as they do it ethically. And I will say without question, GW is extremely ethical in what they've done. They don't try to hide their numbers in their books. They don't try to do weird accounting processes. They are legitimately above the board with the money they make, the taxes they pay, all that stuff. They're above the board. And for a corporate entity, that is freaking rare. And as somebody who works in the financial industry and has a lot of insight into that, it is huge to see a company that's got a multi-million-dollar year profit being over the top about everything and being above the board on everything. That's amazing. I give them credit for that. The fact that they pay their employees, all of their employees, a livable wage. The fact that they profit share with everybody in their company. When they posted their profit last year, every single person from the store managers to the janitors got a cut. They got a share of profits. Everybody got a check. That's really cool. They've invested millions into their mold making technology and infrastructure to make it better figures, produce them quicker, and get them out. They produce most of their stuff in England rather than shipping it off to some pennies an hour third world country. They're doing things the way somebody with morals would want a company to be run. And they're still churning out a profit. So for that, I have to give them credit. But at the same time, there are things that they are doing with their price model, with their price view, with the way that they're producing things.
Don't even start.
They are pricing themselves out of the hands of new players. When I was a kid, I would mow a lawn, and I'd get paid $10 to mow that lawn. I was a comic book kid. I loved comic books. If I mowed 4 lawns in a week, I could buy a bunch of comic books and a D&D book, and I'd still have money left over.
It's not like that anymore.
If I mowed 6 lawns a week, I could buy a single box of GW figures if I'm a kid. And the problem is that because of the way the reality of the economy is these days, nobody's paying you to mow lawns anymore. So you're relying on an allowance or you're getting yourself a job. Well, they're trying to push the hobby towards younger players. They have those whole Warhammer adventures where they have books designed for young readers and 7 and 8-year-olds.
I just turned the age where I could actually get a job.
Yeah, I mean, when my brother got me in the model building, the first models he bought me were the cheap snap-tight Revell models that were $10 at the corner store. And you put them together, no glue, you cut them out, you did your best to trim everything, you snapped them together, and then you had a model, and that was it. If you wanted to paint them, you could, but that was just teaching me the basics of modeling. GW has that. They have the easy-to-build kits. Except for $15, you get 3 Marines. How many of those do I have to build to be able to have a unit? I have to buy 2 of those. You have to buy 2 of those to be able to put together a single squad of Marines. And then you'd have 5 Marines and an extra guy. Unless you're playing Kill Team, what are you doing with 5 Marines? You got 1 squad. So I need to change the topic. I'm mad. I'm super mad because I'm seeing this hobby that they want to promote to younger players, and they want to draw in younger players. I'm sorry, it's 10 years ago, and I've got my single-digit-year-old kid right now that wants to play this game that we're playing. Yeah, it's 10 years ago. That's what I'm saying. It's 10 years ago. And so, yeah, mommy, daddy, money, and that's exactly it. Okay, so I'm going to spend $15 to buy my kid 3 snap-together Marines, and then the paints, and then let them pay them, and then they're going to have 3 Marines that they can't do a darn thing with, other than they look at them. They can't play the game with those Marines.
Bye, Mythos. Love you.
All right. I'm gonna move on from this topic. I think I've covered it for 45 minutes now. So, like I said, I think
New topic idea. What do you want to see come from the Marvel GW?
what I want to see come from the Marvel GW comic. I want them to produce comics that aren't $10 a comic.
They might have Marvel pricing on them.
No, so they'll only be $7.50. Again. Shit, I can't even talk about money.
Ooh. What did you say?
I don't know.
Man was flipping out your head.
What did he say? Read the message.
Not wrong.
Okay, she's laughing because Nick, my moderator,
Stop the comment.
stopped a comment that would, yeah.
And we can see it. Oh my gosh.
All right. Let's talk about happy topics. What do I want to see out of a comic book? I want to see them talk about lore. I want to see them do 30K. I want to see them do the Horse Heresy comic book.
That would be cool.
I want to see them do the Dark Age of Technology. I want to see them do the Thunder Warriors. I want to see them do the stuff they haven't super covered in the books. I want to see them do that.
I want to see them do basically anything.
It'd be a really cool way, like, to cover lore for people who, like, younger kids.
Yeah.
Who want to learn more about lore, but they don't want to read that full entire book or read all those books.
137 books.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I mean,
Tina, you still there? Thumbs up, thumbs down, darling.
she'll get back to you. See, here's the thing. So again, we talk about what I like to see in a comic book. I don't want to see more exploits of the Ultramarines. I agree. I want to. I don't want to see more Ultramarines. Tina, she wants to know if that flash drive's full yet.
Oh my god, I want to talk to my daughter right there.
Yes, you did.
I'd like to see them. I'd like to see them do something about some of the less talked about. I'd like to see them talk about some of the less talked about Marines. I mean, I'd like to see them do a Space Wolf comic, but I'm biased because I love my Space Wolves. I can tell you what I don't want to see. How about that? Because there's actually easier what I don't want to see. I don't want to see more Ultramarine stories.
No.
There's plenty of
that Kane dude. I would love to read some of his adventures.
Again, but he's an Imperial Guard. Imperial Guard would be great. I don't want to see any Ultramarines. I honestly don't want to see any Abaddon or Black Legion.
What?
I would
no words.
No, they could have. I'd love to see. I'd love to see some orc stuff. I'd love to. You know what I'd really like to see? I'd like to see a comic centered around the early origins, like how the Necron tier became the Necrons, how the Krork became the orcs, how the War of the Ancients started. Let's talk about that stuff. Let's cover like old lore. Let's cover stuff they've only mentioned in the margins.
If you want to see a lot of this, I'll paraphrase. Please refer to if the Emperor had text-to-speech and look at History with Professor Imps.
Yeah.
And the one before it.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I mean, seeing stuff that we haven't seen covered in the novels would be great.
Magnus being picked on by his brothers would be fun.
But that's in the books. That's actually in the books. So there's that. That's what I'd like to see in comics. I will tell you the other thing, not storyline-wise, but art-wise. And if you're a comic book guy, you'll know what I'm talking about. I want to see Brian Bolland get involved. I want
Joe Mandier.
Joe Mandier would be great. But I want to see Brian Bolland. I want to see Brian Bolland, the most English of comic book writers and comic book artists. I want to see Brian Bolland do covers at least. And if you don't know who Brian Bolland is, please, I'm telling you, if you like good comic book art, go out to Google and Brian Bolland. He did some early stuff for Strontium Dog and 2000 AD, Judge Dredd. He did a lot of their early art. He did the very first 12-issue maxi series. Jeff Loeb would be good, yeah. But the first 12-issue maxi series ever done by DC, which was called Camelot 3000, he did all of the writing and the artwork for it, and it's absolutely amazing. Absolutely stunning artwork. He did the cover art for Animal Man for DC for probably close to 10 years. He just did the covers. But you want Iron Warriors. That silver's not very good. That one's almost dry. You want to look for the regular pot called Iron Warriors. It's over there.
Just turn it up, Peter.
I didn't see it.
So, yeah, I mean, he's just...
There you are.
He's an incredible artist. Hi, Gio. Yeah, I mean, if Brian Bolland,
Oh.
and he's a very English artist, and I'm a huge fan of 2000 AD. So if you like 2000 AD, if you like the old Judge Dredd styled art, I think he would be
Sweetie, hand me a brush.
perfect.
Just a fine tip brush.
I think he'd be perfect. Just hand a little cup. Just hand a whole cup.
There's no more fine tip brushes in it. That'll work.
I think he'd be incredible. 12 years. Okay, so 12 years he did. Yeah, he did the covers for a very long time, and his artwork is absolutely amazing. Atomic Dog, good to see you. Sorry, you take care. Yeah, I mean,
Take the damn thing back now, please.
I don't want to see them get McFarlane. I don't want to see them get big names that they can get on the cheap because they overhype it. There's a lot of Jim Lee is a great artist. There's a lot of really good artists out there. I think more important than any of that, I think actually more important than the artwork, although the artwork is super important. I think it's super important that whatever it is they write, they get not I think getting somebody to write it that understands the comic book industry and understands 40K is more critical than anything else, because you have to capture that grim, dark, gritty style. Yeah. I'm trying to think. There's an artist, and for the life of me, I cannot remember his name. And somebody will know it right off the bat. I just can't think of it right now. I'm kind of old and tired. But he did Transmetropolitan. He did The Boys. He did a bunch of other stuff. But those are the two big things he's done. I think he may have even been the guy who did Preacher. But the big two are Transmetropolitan and The Boys that I can think of off the top of my head. Again, another British artist. I think he would be a really good artist / writer to handle the thing. But again, you got to have a solid grip on what they do and what they're doing. And the other thing, I think if they're going to do 40K and they want to do it right as a comic, they're going to have to do it as limited series. Like, we're going to do a 12-issue limited series of this story.
They could do it like they did with the World of Warcraft stuff.
I don't think they will be cheesy, but there is a worry. There honestly is a worry that to get that media grab that they might go cheesy. And the problem is that
I don't know what's going on right now.
Wow, Nick is just being right on. Damn.
That the conversation was about me for those who weren't paying attention. As a matter of fact, something about me licking about me licking the brushes better than Mythos does. And Freak said how much he enjoys watching me lick brushes, and Zane was telling him to go lick his wife's brushes or something like that.
Lovely.
I love you all so much. I need to do a late night show with you guys.
Oh, so yeah, that's the problem. My wife is filthy. She's a filthy creature.
Any better?
I love her to death, but she's a filthy creature.
Maybe that's what I should do, is get them into a Discord with me.
No. All right. So what'd you do?
I just swallowed my hair.
She scared herself and then swallowed her.
No, the dog knocked something over, jumped against me. I gasped in my hair.
She keeps me young, freak. She keeps me young.
Guys, there's a reason I normally put this back.
You need me to go get yours. It would be safer.
Okay, new topic, because I was actually...
Over soon. It is 9 o'clock, my love.
Yeah, but we started late, so I got 10 more minutes.
Yeah.
So, another thing I want to talk about real quick, because I love it, but I'm a little disappointed, but I'll get over it.
The new Joker movie?
No, I'm talking about gaming.
Oh.
Bandai's new Space Marine action figure. They're doing it as a limited edition run, 9,000 figures. 9,000 figures. That's not a lot.
Zane. I'll get you one.
See, and there's a problem. As I want it, and the problem is I really want it. I really want it.
Are you talking about that huge one that
It's
that I was trying to tell you should make into Conan Emperor?
Well, there's an idea of making it painting it gold and making it look like the Emperor. That'd be hilarious.
I said Conan Emperor, not Emperor's throne.
Yeah. Yeah, they only made...
Is that heresy, Zane?
Yeah. They're making 9,000 of those figures. The problem is, if they're going for the same price as the other high-quality Bandai figures, those are going to be $65 a piece figures. Or, alternately, they could even be more. They could be like the 80.
That's what she said.
They could be like the $80 figures. Actually, that'd be the thing. If I buy one of those freaking figures, I'm going to use it as a freaking I'm gonna use it as a what do you call it? I'm gonna put it on a base, and I'm gonna use it as a dreadnought. I'll use it as one of those new scout dreadnoughts.
I believe that is heresy.
It would be fun to get a bunch of them and actually do kill team at that scale. That'd be hilarious. Have a kill team board, the size of a dining room table. That'd be a lot of fun.
That would be fun.
Now here's the thing. This goes back to about 15 years ago. If some of you might have played it, there was a Games Workshop game based on the Inquisition. It was their squad-based game, but it was 54 millimeters, so figures were double-sized. They were double-sized figures. For the Inquisition, and that's actually where the article, they mentioned it today in the article, and that's actually where the Arco Flagellants came from, because the first one was actually a single figure Inquisition box. But I mean, 54 millimeter figures, those are like your standard figures.
Give it a minute. It's Apollo.
Yeah, Inquisitor.
It was the dog. Okay, so real quick, I'm going to interrupt this because I have to ask you boys, what would you think?
Quick draw dreadnought. And stealthy quick draw dreadnought.
So,
whoop, here I am.
How
You're
many
12
of you,
feet tall.
How many of you have heard of LARP?
A lot of people have heard of LARPing.
I'm getting to it. LARP kill team with the Nerf guns.
The problem is I've played that already.
Isn't it called Magic Horizons?
Yeah.
See, we can use Magic Horizon rules. What do you guys think? Seriously, getting together using.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Freak's actually seen my Space Wolf costume.
Yeah, I showed it on a live stream.
So think about that for a minute. Wouldn't that be fun? All get together. You guys get, X amount of area. We can put up tape so you can see this is how big your guys' zone is. You get Nerf guns. Wear your armor, boys and girls. For those who want to play, because I'm not gender specific. Boys, girls, and other. Anyway, have a kill team. Seriously, think about that.
Yeah, and every time you get shot, do you get to roll a die? Hey, my armor's saved.
Yes, I can make them. Think about that.
Giant
BT
foam
has
die.
giant 6 feet die or giant tube.
Those giant foam dies
She's-
that you see in the movies hanging up.
You just noticed the sass. You don't understand.
No, he's
She's sass with ears. That's it.
Not wrong.
Oh, I wouldn't even bother with airsoft guns. The Nerf guns, they have these pneumatic Nerf guns now. They're actually they're pneumatic Nerf guns. You replace the main tube with an actual metal housing, and you're firing those rounds fast. They're hard. And
We
because
have
they're
one
pneumatic.
upstairs.
No, the pneumatics we don't have. Yeah.
We have
No,
some-
there is a pneumatic one that is, I mean, you replace the bushing with an actual sealed bushing, and you replace the chamber with a copper rod. There's a whole bizarre community of Nerf modders that one of my friends who, when we were LARPing, he played the
We're not using them with a beanie bag at rounds because that freaking hurts. Uh-oh.
Mhm.
I just
Ye-
dropped your brain's hair.
You better go find your brain's hair.
Okay, but seriously, think
Fine.
about it, guys. Wouldn't it be fun? We should aim for it this spring.
That sounds like a convention game.
I'm sorry, I'm just imagining all you boys running through running through the hotel and just going, get out of the way, get out of the way!
No, you just you put you
no,
make sure.
Zane, you're not putting tacks in the dark.
No, not darks, not tacks, but you have blue tack on them. If they stick, you actually take the round for them.
Not blue tack. The tack won't stick quick enough.
Yeah.
Not always.
You could always do it with I've seen it before where you use
Well, you could do paintball, and that's a whole different game.
I'm out.
Then there
Not even
is
remotely. But there is a way that you can do it by putting you can put chalk on the end. So pink.
Well,
We know, but I'm pretty sure this is not the time.
Zane,
nor the place
Zane,
for
I'm going
it.
to tell you right now, if you really want to play, we can make it happen. But I'm going to play a Space Wolf, and I'm bringing my chain sword into the game.
I'll play a Drukari and bring an Agonizer.
I'll play my Emperor.
We'll beat you. You want to get beaten? Dude,
I have a certain figure I can play for that.
I had 2 children. Abuse is nothing.
Oh, no. He has 2 children that, like, one that would wrestle all the time with him, and also we did LARP together, so.
Oh, all right. Well, you've cheered me up enough, so I'm off my rant. The salt is officially gone, but as we come close to our 1.5 hour mark, I do have some final thoughts. So, this is a lovely hobby and a lovely game. And I love the fact that it brings out everybody's freak inside, and everybody's okay with that.
But
No, I mean that, because I mean, Inquisitor Zane, yeah,
He's a freak.
I love him to death.
He's a freak.
Get the heavy flamer.
Not encourage him.
there's a couple different things you use.
I'm
You're
not.
encouraging him.
I'm not okay with. I'm not okay with piracy, but at the same time,
Yes, I'll give you another brush lick. Let me find one of my brushes.
there's her final thought for the night. She likes licking brushes. I am now
He's
unsalted.
stealing all of my crap.
Here, you can have this brush.
No, it's nasty.
It's not nasty.
Yes, it was.
Whatever.
I just cleaned this one.
Where the hell is my brush?
I don't know.
Your box is over there somewhere. See, that's what happens when you don't come to the table for days. It's not my problem. Here, clean this brush. Here you go.
It's not a circle brush.
Whatever. All right. She's
My brush
salty.
lick.
Now she's She's the pillar of salt. Think of her as Lot's wife. That's my woman, Lot's
She's
wife.
a salt lick. One of those like just blocks of salt.
Yes, I know. It's for I'm aware. It's
Yeah.
for educational purposes. Oh, hey, look! They're my other clippers. I was looking for those.
Education.
It's one of my favorite brushes too. Remember, kids, always clean your brushes after you're done using them. Always remember to clean your brushes after you're using them, especially if you use them for dry brushing. You can really damage it up, and rubbing alcohol is really great for cleaning them out.
Example of this destroyed brush.
Yeah, rubbing alcohol is actually a really good way, and a little bit of brush soap goes a long way to keep your brushes clean. Think of it as your free tip of the day. Remember, when you're using your brush, just the tip. You're just using the tip. So, all right, y'all freaks. Thank you for coming by. Again, like, share, subscribe. Let people know. Spread the word out in the world. Remember, the more people that come here, the more people we can infect with our fun. And in the end, that is what we are talking about. We are talking about fun. In the end, with all the salt, with all the unbalance, with all the anger, with everything else, we are painting little bitty figures to play a fun game. So, this is Will. This is the Lady Dragon. I'm Big D. Epic your board, and epic your game. Be good to each other, and game on.
It's not